I leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
party.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. Everybody done to do his favorite job as GM in the chat down below. And head up top, smash that like, repost, bookmark on the day space. Greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo and does us a solid. Also, today especially would help me, help prevent me from having any sort of complex or anxiety over no one tuning in because he found out yesterday that Steve is not coming back to Coffee with Captain. So appreciate the solo love or the love on the solo show today. I kid, but we'll get into that in a little bit. I actually, it is not lost on me that I have more notes for today's show than any time in the last 1,042 episodes. I have 9 tabs open for things to talk about. It's wild it's wild how, and I've known, I watch what I say here. Well, I just say this. Steve had been on a hiatus, had been doing some consulting, had been off the show for a month. I didn't do any of this. It's just wild sometimes how even change, evolution, like major change for the show. No doubt about it. But it's today's no different than yesterday or the day before. Well, actually, was Steve joined us on Friday, but you get my point. Is not really any different than the last month, but it just like triggered something in my brain to put my Steve hat on to be a little more professional and actually do some prep. So I've got things to talk about if there is dead air time. But in all seriousness, appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate the love already in the chat. We're also live over on Abstract. That's pinned up top as well as YouTube. Shout out to RDL, Osiris, and Thomas over there. Our abstract chat popping off early as well with Teacher Katie and Saucy and Diego. Teacher Katie adds, sad, so happy for Steve, sad to not have him here, but excited for his future. And yeah, the best part about this is while he is departing from Coffee with Captain, he is not only not going anywhere in terms of crypto and Web3, but the reality is he's entering a new chapter of his life where I believe he can have even a bigger impact on the space at large. Certainly OpenSea, massive win for them, big hire. I know I'm biased, but if you've been here, how many times have you heard us in the last 4 or 5 years talk about how poor these Web3 companies operate in terms of their lack of attention to proper leadership teams, in particular communications and PR, and they just picked up the best in the business from my perspective. So big win for OpenSea. Pump for Steve, pump for the future. And if you ever doubted that your feedback and your participation here mattered, not my place to say, but I can tell you that there's been things that our audience has shared on this show that has absolutely made its way back, and changes have been rolled out, or new programs have been taken, ideas and concepts and feedback that's been discussed in the show, and at minimum taken into consideration, if not implemented or plans to be implemented in the future. So appreciate you all. We've always been a community driven show, and nothing changes there. And shout out to Steve out there. I said yesterday in the comments that badge looks good on him. It also made me realize how, as I see it now, I had this conscious thought until seeing it yesterday, and it really does pop. Maybe it's his background combined with the badge, but for badges on X, the blue pops. The OpenSea blue really pops. Now, I use dark mode unless I'm taking a screenshot, and then I don't know if this really works or not. I've seen other people do it, so I will flip to light mode for a screenshot, and then I'll post the white screenshot, thinking everyone out there except for Von Frunten by default uses dark mode as well. So the light mode should pop. Sorry. Mel wins the chat. I got to take a pause. I'll rewind my brain. It took 7 minutes to be distracted, but it's a good distraction by our friend Mel, and Mel wins the chat today. I don't know if she's serious or if it's a joke or if it's a troll, but she says, so I thought it was VFriends. Super stoked for Steve. If you're not familiar with that, I'm going to take it as an inside joke. Steve and I, fans of Gary, fans of VFriends. Mel, not as big of a fan. I wouldn't say she's not a fan. We'll leave it there. But yeah, you win the chat today, GM, and appreciate you being here. But like I said, a lot to a lot to cover today. Steve, I'm not sure if you caught the opening, the coldest of cold opens right from the jump. But I was saying, true story. I have my iOS notes here, and I rarely do this. Last time I did it was 11/24 for some reason. Today I have more notes. Now they're like one-word notes just to jog my memory, and more tabs open. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tabs open of things to talk about. I've never done that. More prep today. Day one without Steve, I've done more prep than I did in the, I would say, I know for a fact, the last 1,042 shows as any individual show. It's possible I've actually had more notes and more prep today than all 1,042 shows combined. Probably a little bit of exaggeration, but I was just saying it's wild how sometimes change can, like, the reality is I'm getting right into things here at Cold Open. We'll probably do a full like sending off show, farewell show to Steve. Again, he's not going anywhere. He's in good health. He's going on to bigger and better things, and will have the ability to make a very meaningful, measurable impact, not just on OpenSea, but I believe crypto and Web3 at large. I think we need more people like Steve in leadership roles. We've said this for literally years. I mean, probably if you go back to 2021, we were probably talking about this exact topic then. I'm proud. I'm going to be proud every time it's likely, like I know Hollander has done a few media engagements with I don't remember whether it's CNN or Fox News or Fox Business. Like, I think it's inevitable. We'll see Steve on those platforms at some point in the future. And like, that's awesome. Like, not because he's a friend. Sure, I'll be proud as a friend, but it's awesome for us. It's awesome for us in crypto and Web3 to have someone who is professional, who can talk, not only talk the talk, he walks the walk. And I'm very excited for him, his family, and I can't FUD OpenSea anymore. So if you enjoyed that, it wasn't a bit. It was easy for us to play opposite sides. I may or may not have had an inkling that he was close with the team, but it was, and I'll be candid still. I'm not going to hold anything back, but it truly is a win for them. Like, they've rounded out, they've made good hires. Really, I think since Hollander joined the team, and have rounded it out with, I think it's, you could, maybe not easy. I would say it's, from my perspective, the people I know, they're one of, if not the most well-rounded professional leadership team in all of crypto across the board. I mean, find another leading brand that has a comms and marketing lead with Steve's credentials. I'm sure they exist. I'm sure there's people that have been in crypto for decades, and their resumes look pretty impressive. I don't know if there's many that have the Fortune 500 experience working in corporate America in these roles and have been in the trenches for the last 4 years. It's just he's got a very unique background, incredible skill set, and big W for OpenSea. I need help with a title though. I don't know. I said I might go shirtless. I'm not gonna go shirtless. That was just a bit to get everyone tuning in case you were only here for Steve. But I do have a lot of news to cover today. Open show, as always, community-led show. So I will say this. One thing, TBD, really, like, the next month really is, and I do this every year. So it's not just a December thing, because, we'll have a slightly new, some changes to the show. Every year I kind of reflect on the past year in December. It's usually like the last 2 weeks of the year. In my world, in my life as a retailer, the last 6 weeks of the year was always gangbusters, from really Thanksgiving through the end of the year. That said, like, the last week, 2 weeks, we were kind of on cruise control, especially for the last, I don't know, 4 years, I guess, when minus last year, but the years prior, when I was working in corporate America, and finishing the earnout there, was no one worked. Like, literally, if they had 15,000 employees, 14,500 of them took off the last 2 weeks of the year. So it was like a ghost town. And I never took PTO because it was easy just to coach through some days and check some emails and work on, goals for the next year and personal stuff. But anyways, I digress. Going to be taking the next few weeks to really think through some, what do we look like going forward? What are our sponsored segments look like? What does the guest speaker situation look like? Right as of now, leaning not to replace Steve with a one-to-one co-host, because he's not replaceable. It's just being brutally honest. There's no one that I'm aware of, no one that I've interacted with, that we could add as a co-host that I have the same level of chemistry that Steve and I did. It was something special. It was never forced. It was very organic. And, if you've been here for even a fraction of 1,000 shows, you've probably heard us finish each other's sentences. You've heard us have knockdown, drag out fights on air, and then we're best friends once, in post-production. That's rare to have a individual in your life where you can be so raw with, and things get heated at times. And yet, as soon as the discussion's on, it's like someone said it earlier. I actually, give proper credit here. I got a sweet text from, I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this. I apologize if so. But I got a sweet text from Frosty. Just says, hope you're doing well. Heart. Always hard to lose a partner. And it hit me. It's like, that's it. This isn't like I lost a co-host. I really lost. I mean, Steve is a partner with Coffee with Captain. We've been that from the jump, but it's a unique. It's first. I've been through divorce. I've been through breakups. absolutely hits different because Steve's not out of my life. It's not like, oh, we're going to break up or we're going to get divorced. We'll continue to co-parent or we'll be friends. Like our friendship, nothing changes. I just am not going to get to talk to one of my best friends on a daily basis every morning for a couple hours. And that's a change, a big change. At the same time, it's, change is good. And it's again, a great opportunity for Steve. It'll force me to be a better host, especially as I just mentioned, like I started taking the notes and it hit me like a brick. It's like, I am going to be a better host because I'm going to be forced to do some things that I just relied on Steve on. I would just jump on the show, zero prep because, like I say, zero prep. That's not fair. Like I am chronically online. I see most of what gets talked about on X, but I don't prep. I didn't prep. Whereas I knew Steve would do more prep when it comes to our live reads. The more, like all that stuff he had on lockdown, he would do it all. And I never really had to think about it. Now you need to think about some things a little bit, and that's a good thing. Will help, I believe, me level up. It'll hopefully bring a better show for all of you. Not that the show was ever not bad, but it was, or not that the show is bad, but rather just a more. I don't know what this is in regards to. I'm catching up in the chat here. Yeah, congrats to Dort and Mrs. Dort on the little pudgy. It's very cute. Diablito also wins the chat this morning. We got co-winners in the chat. This is I am curious who had we had a poll in the war room, and I think as far as where Steve was going or where he might be, who he might be working with, and I think everyone hit on the poll, if I'm not mistaken. But Diablito just says, yeah, I got dumped for OpenSea. Better to get dumped for OpenSea in a great opportunity than to get dumped by a romantic or intimate partner for anyone. So I joke, all in good fun, and yes, very grateful to be here, and truly appreciative, grateful for having 1,000 shows with Steve. It's made me a better host, a better speaker, a better understanding of the English language, even though I will continue to mispronounce words. It's like my relationship with Steve is what I love so much about Web3. It's not lost on me that we, met or went to the same college, had this very similar, like overlapping friend groups, and never met to this space. And this space, to say it brought us close together would be an understatement. So that said, stoked for Steve, pumped for his new role. It does, I'm not even joking, it makes me bullish OpenSea because I think some of their fumbles or some of their mishaps in the past, a lot of it had to do around communications. I have all the confidence in the world that won't happen anymore. And not saying he's perfect, not saying there won't be missteps, but yes, Steve is a grail. And Frosty Steve, like the people demanded, I got to stay fudding OpenSea. So we will see. Steve will be back. He's not going to disappear forever. He's not going to disappear from your timeline. We will, like I said, we'll probably not only do a farewell show. Who knows? Maybe there's a chance in the future we have a segment that Steve comes back for and rejoins us. But yeah, this is appreciate all the kind words as well. I meant to go pin it and I got distracted there by Mel and Diablito in the chat. But if you happen to miss it, if you we're off X the last couple of days, I just did pin this up top. I'll give it a quick run through, and then we will move. I had to spend the cold open talking about Steve. It would not have been an appropriate opening otherwise. But we'll move on to all other crypto and Web3 in these 9 tabs I have open. And I, like a bad friend, this was actually not one of the open tabs I had. So now I have 10 tabs open of things to discuss today. And as always, open stage. Anyone wants to jump up? We will continue the open stage, the community-led show. And as I mentioned, he's irreplaceable as a co-host. We'll have co-hosts from time to time. We're going to be probably doing some more interviews. We're bringing some people through, some rotation. Sometimes we'll do solo shows. But my ask of all you is don't disappear. Continue to be participatory, whether it's comments in the chat or jumping up on stage and joining the conversation. If there's something that we're not covering, you have questions on or want to see us talk about, please let us know, and I will cater to the best of my abilities. So here's the big announcement, big personal news. I'm quoting Steve here. I'm joining OpenSea team as marketing lead. I get to wake up every day and work on things I'm passionate about, leading communications, driving product and marketing for rewards, loyalty, ding, 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 and guiding social strategy, community, storytelling, product. It's like a bingo card of all the things I work on. Can't help to think, but Coffee with Captain influenced the bingo card reference there. Doing that at any company would be exciting, but to do it at OpenSea, one of the most impactful companies in crypto, is kind of the opportunity you dream about. It also means I'll be stepping away from a roller coaster. Coffee with Captain, CBC has been one of the best experiences of my life, and I'll have more reflective thoughts on that unforgettable chapter in the coming days. But for today, it's all about the next chapter. One, I'm excited to begin writing. OpenSea played a huge role in shaping my Web3 journey. Now I get to help shape the future, sales up. Again, just major congrats for Steve and for OpenSea again. They've been moving really well. Like I don't know. I mean, I don't know everyone they've hired, but everyone that I'm aware of they've hired is like knockdown rock star. Like they're arguably the best at what they do in the business, and they've built rather somewhat of a dream team from my perspective. Cool Chick GM, go ahead and get in here, and then I will move on to these other open tabs.
GM, just wanted to say congrats to Steve. And does this give Coffee with Captain exclusive OpenSea access?
So what people are asking, there is the rumors started yesterday in the war room that all DGen pass holders are going to get a special crate, and we're all guaranteed to get 10x our OpenSea, our C allocation. We started, I think you probably saw the floor sweep starting yesterday. Floor price on that DGen pass is probably going to be about 1 ETH. I kid, this is a joke. Please don't go buy the DGen pass on any. It's not happening. In fact, I would probably not let it. I don't know. It's not happening. Don't. It's just a completely made up rumor. Not only unsubstantiated. It's a joke. But I like in all serious though, if you have feedback regarding OpenSea or any of their rewards programs, I might know a guy to pass along the feedback to. I'll just say that. But no, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you jumping up, as well as everyone in the chat. Last bit of cold open. Week 14 is here. Good luck to all those in the fantasy hunt. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'll just say that in one of my dynasty leagues where I was a lock for the playoffs, I'm actually the defending champion. I didn't think I needed this past week. It's one where it's like the top 6 teams out of 12 make the playoffs, and I was fine. And I think I'm still okay. I'm sitting at 5th now after last week, but my stacked team that included, has Saquon Barkley's been on my dynasty squad for years. It's got my wide receivers I have Trey McBride and George Kittle, and it's a tight end premium league. My wide receivers were 2 first-round draft picks in redraft. In this past week, I had maybe the saddest score of all time for any fantasy squad I can remember, when right next to each other on the lineup for my wide receivers, I had a total of combined 2 catches for 4 yards out of Amon-Ra St. Brown and Justin Jefferson. So 2 first-round draft pick wide receivers combined for the equivalent of 2.4 fantasy points. Can't make this up. So now I'm kind of sweating. I'm sitting in 5th. The top 6 make the playoffs. In my high stakes redraft league, I won last week, but I need to run pure, not only win week 14, I need to win and like go 11-1 or I'm sorry, 11-0 or 10-1 against the field, because it's power rankings to determine the playoffs, and I'm on the outside looking in on the bubble. So good luck to all that are battling for the playoffs. I certainly, if I don't make it, I hope. Has there been a winner in the Death Fund contest? Good question. I will get with Steve, and we'll get that. We'll get that finalized ASAP. And Frosties, yes. Take that as financial advice. We need you in the war room, anyways. Actually, there's 2 people I want to get in there. I've got some extra passes. Let me see who's out there. One, it inspired me this morning because actually one of the topics I want to talk about is this Japan 10-year. I'm by no means. I'm not a. This is not my area of expertise by any stretch of the imagination. We start talking about foreign currencies and the 10-year yield on not my area of expertise. I saw someone talking about it yesterday. I saw I Can't Trade put up a Substack on it. I'm trying to see if I Can't Trade's out there. Go ahead, Cool Chick. While I look for this, give me like 30 seconds of air cover.
I was just wondering your opinion on the coach, the offensive coordinator of Oregon, Will Stein. I guess he's the new head coach of Kentucky. I know that's a different league, pro to college, but I'm more of a college sports follower.
Yeah, I have no idea. Not familiar. Haven't been following. All I know about college football is I get duped by fake college football Twitter often, like twice in the last week. I shared something that was not real. I know that Lane Kiffin just got recruited, sniped to LSU, and I know that. What other college football? I did have another actual college football take, but as far as coaches go, the only offensive, I thought when you said offensive coordinator, I thought you were going to Philadelphia. Who their offensive coordinator is, I don't know if he's capable to be the offensive coordinator for a high school team. He's just really bad with an insanely talented offensive cast. And I saw that after they lost to the Bears, his house got egged. And I'm not like an evil, mean person. I should have like felt bad for the guy. I should have had some sympathy. My first gut reaction was good. He deserved it. Don't go egging people's houses. No one really deserves that. But the guy, they need to move on from the OC. That's where I thought you were going was Philadelphia's offensive coordinator. I also, I'm not going to go there, but first ever injury designation yesterday with Abdul Carter. Not going there, but it's all over your timeline. A lot of funny jokes on that last night for missing, or he didn't miss Monday night game, but it's no wonder the guy has not put up any counting stats this year. Payne does say that was a nice get for UK. We'll see if it works out. So you got at least one fan there, and probably enough sports talk, enough cold open. Steve he'll rejoin us. We'll have some special cameos. Probably do like a Sydney Moff show. Farewell doesn't sound right. Again, he's not leaving. He's perfectly healthy. He's just entering a new chapter of his life. He will, as he's here today, I'm sure when he's got time, he'll tune in, and if topic warrants it, probably join the conversation as well. But Oxy, GM sir, I'm curious to see where you'll go this morning. I'm guessing it might be this Japan trade. It might be one of the other tabs I have open. Feel free to take it whichever direction you'd like. Always a pleasure.
Oh man, I'm going to disappoint you. I was going to talk about how Philadelphia is the most boring team to watch all of football.
I agree. I agree.
It's I just cannot stand watching a Philadelphia game. So then it just leads me to rooting against them.
And it shouldn't be.
But
it'd be one thing if they had no weapons. If they were, I don't know, they had a quarterback like Minnesota. But it's not. You could argue they've got like potentially all pros at every skill position. 2 wide receivers, a running back, a quarterback. They're just studs, a solid tight end. And it's like watching I'm not bashing the wing tee. We actually played wing tee in high school. And as I was tight end, and it benefited me very well. So I'm a fan of the wing tee in high school football, not at the professional level. But yeah, it's pretty boring. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, it's tough. I agree. Like they've got some of the best at each position in the league, and I mean they like on paper they should have no losses, but yeah, they just can't execute. It feels like, but I agree. I think it's a lot of coaching there. And then speaking to your Amon-Ra injury, as a Detroit diehard fan, that broke my heart, but also fantasy broke my heart as well. So I feel for you there.
Brutal. I didn't even see the update. I'm assuming he's out this week because I think they play Thursday. But
yeah.
Has there been any indications that just they expecting back the following week, or do we know?
I don't think they know yet. I was just gonna actually look, but yeah, I don't think they know yet.
Yeah, missed practice. No, yeah, I'm not seeing any update either. Just didn't play yesterday. Didn't practice yesterday. The question he might be playing. I do not expect him to play Thursday. I was going to say a short week, but I guess it's really a full week. 'Cause they played last Thursday, but yeah. Yep. Good luck.
Maybe pivoting to just the crypto. I guess the crypto side of things. I guess how are you feeling just generally about
So
market rights now and things like that?
in a weird way, I feel entirely different than I did yesterday. Yesterday, I was confused. I didn't understand and why another sell-off. Are we going to keep going down forever? True story. There's a greater than 50% chance that I full port my 401k into Bitcoin. My 401k is with Vanguard. I thought about it's just kind of it's a hassle to move. It's not that big of a hassle. It's like bridging to Polygon in 2021. Like it's doable. I just didn't want to jump through the hoops to get it done, and it was performing well. 401k had been going up this year. Vanguard is one of the topics. Vanguard goes announced it's coming soon, maybe today. They're turning on allowing their customers to buy the Bitcoin ETF. Yeah, maybe the ETH one as well, but at least the Bitcoin one for sure. It's not just because of Vanguard. It's not just because of that, but there's a few things, and I'll get into it here. I feel still uncertain alts. I'm still uncertain in terms of what's the next catalyst, who's the net new buyer. But what I have as much conviction in potentially as ever before is nothing's changed with the Bitcoin thesis. Nothing's changed. Maybe things have changed with the Ethereum thesis. Nothing's changed with the Bitcoin thesis. It's just like that is very easy for me to understand. We have an incredible regulatory environment. We've got real potential catalysts coming soon, and I just like it. It's screaming to me like it could go lower from here. Yes, but I'm not like my 401k is not a 6-month thing, not a 1-month thing. It's decades, or yeah. I don't know when I can cash it out without penalty. 65, is that right?
Might be 63 now. That's a good question.
So maybe almost 2 decades, not quite. But I just have a really hard time thinking in 18 years that Bitcoin isn't significantly higher than $86,000. Now, will it outperform the S&P from here? Maybe. I think so. And I'm going to jump right into one of the there's actually 2 bullish indicators I think were shared yesterday. I've got one from Bryn here, who was a new find for me, was following. I hadn't followed back. I wasn't aware, but I saw this post. So I'm going to share this one. And then I've got another one, two bull theses for Bitcoin. And I think it's just a combination of these things. This says, does history support a BTC V-bottom straight to all-time highs during each of the last 3 big corrections since 2022? Bitcoin is consolidated for at least 3 weeks before surging back to all-time highs in the weeks following. So far, we're looking at 1 week above 81,000. If we can hold above 81,000 for a week or 2 longer, whether by retesting the low or just consolidating, it will unlock a lot of upside into the end of the year. Probably back to all-time highs with the macro, institutional adoption, regulatory progress, all flashing green. It will pay to be a bull during December. This here, macro, institutional adoption, regulatory progress, we are so close to it. We know this stuff has been happening. We know this stuff is underway. The reality is none of it's really hit yet. It's all been, I don't even want to say theoretical or speculative. It's coming. It just hasn't hit yet for all intents and purposes. I've got one other thing that supports my flip back to, not that I ever wavered from a bull, but went from feeling a sort of way to I likely full port my 401k this week. And this is one. And then to further expand on this, we've got, oh man, don't tell me that's the other. I just overshot these. This is what I get for prepping, is I had all these tabs pulled up and I already pulled up something else and deleted that one. Let me go find it, because it is a, I know where to find it.
You know, yesterday on CNBC, I had it playing in the background while I was working on something, and I apologize, I don't remember the guy's name, but they were talking to a guy who was like, I guess, their crypto person to reach out to, and he said that it was kind of funny that, you know, most of the major cryptos are pretty low right now, and most of his crypto friends were in a panic mode, sort of, and yet all of his hedge fund friends and, you know, major institutions were calling them saying and texting saying, you know, how much should we buy now?
Yep.
So it was kind of ironic, like the way compared to how the two think.
I agree. I think this is also, we CT, Crypto Twitter, are the active participants, those that are in the weeds and the trenches. We're so close to it, and we have expectations. We have expectations of cycles and alt seasons, and I think the reality is I know there's been wins. I think a lot of people here have not had their typical quote unquote bull cycle results. Even for some that were up big, a lot of them got wiped on 10-10. We were looking at charts yesterday. It's scary. And I think this is also like, it actually, and we will go back to the I know we talked a little bit about ApeCoin yesterday and relative to other alts. I will go back to that in a bit, because it all ties together, because it got me going down a little bit of a rabbit hole yesterday, not just looking at Ape and Pingu and Rec, but a lot of tokens. And if you zoom out, it has never been more obvious to me, looking at charts, that a black swan event occurred on October 10th. We think, okay, there was a big liquidation event and red candles across the board, and it was over. It wasn't over. It was that, and then for most intents and purposes, almost every token has been down only since. So it was, most tokens lost double digits on the 10th, some far more. Maybe some bounced a little bit, maybe some rebounded a little bit. I didn't see one yesterday that bounced back to where it was. There was no V-shaped recovery whatsoever that I saw in the charts I looked at. Further, it's not like they dipped and then just chopped. It's they dipped and then they just have been down, sell off ever since. All of them, everyone I looked at. It's a very, like, you see like some ups and downs throughout the cycle. Then October 10th happens, massive crash, massive liquidations, and no recovery. That's a big deal. And I do believe, I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I think it's in the range of outcomes. I'm starting to think it's highly probable that fast forward a year from now, and at some point, I'm not saying right now is the bottom. I'm not calling bottom. I think fast forward a year from now, we'll look back on the months that followed October 10th as one of those generational buying opportunities. I think if you think Bitcoin gets to 150K, Bitcoin gets back to all-time highs, if Bitcoin rips to 250K at some point, we will be kicking ourselves, just like those of us who were around last time, we're kicking ourselves for not shoving the chips all in at $16,000 Bitcoin. I think this is our $16,000 Bitcoin moment of this cycle. Now, could it go to 70K? It could. I don't think it's over. If anything, it's getting more and more and more adoption, not less. And I see Joey came up with his hand. I want to read this other post I've got pulled up, and then we'll continue the conversation. But this is the other one. So there was the one from Bryn, and then this one from Macroscope, also a new follow for me, by the way, but a good take, and it supports my bull thesis. So I agree and give him a follow. Said, and again, quoting here, it's on the screen. It's been a while since we heard anything about Bitcoin Strategic Reserve or the U.S. government possibly buying Bitcoin. When something in the market gets very quiet, but you know it hasn't gone away, it could be a good time to start paying attention. Here's what I've started to watch for. Scott Bessent is a markets guy, a trader by nature. He knows the legislative route to purchase Bitcoin is slow and very public, so it's likely to get front run, especially by other nations. I think legislation is very important for long-term reasons, and it will eventually happen in some form, but this is solely about price and Bessent's thinking. It's not hard to imagine Bessent watching the recent BTC sell-off with an opportunistic trader mindset. At some point, would it be really surprising to get a public statement along these lines, consistent with the administration's stated goal of supporting U.S. leadership in technology? The U.S. Treasury has acquired fill in the blank. Activity by Exchange Stabilization Fund, ESF, is not disclosed in real time. Treasury posts annual reports and monthly statements on its website, but as a practical matter, Bessent would certainly make a public statement on this long before it showed up in any disclosure. It's been hard to forget him showing up for the opening of PubKey DC in the teeth of BTC's current sell-off. This was a quote tweet from his post on November 20th, where it talks about Bessent was at tonight's opening of PubKey DC. In this type of market, signals that don't matter much. Eventually, traders look back and realize it mattered. I'm long Bitcoin. I'm serious. This isn't a bit. I'm seriously considering full porting my ETF, or excuse me, my 401k into the Bitcoin ETF today, now that, or tomorrow, when as soon as Vanguard turns it live. And this is me. This is a me thing. Don't do what I've already screwed up our opening because I haven't done a disclaimer. See, Steve, I already missed you. Never any financial advice in the show, especially when it talks to full porting your 401k into Bitcoin. Don't follow me for financial advice. I'm clearly not a financial advisor. No financial advisor would tell you to do this. It is not advised. Don't do what I say. Don't do what I do. Just join us for some fun, some information, maybe a little education along the way. Maybe you can dunk on me a year from now if I do full port and Bitcoin becomes 16K again. We'll hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time here in the show. Bitcoin is certainly one of them. And I want more Bitcoin. I just, nothing's changed with the Bitcoin thesis. And a lot of the stuff, when we talk about governments and nation states, and, the state of Texas bought 10 million Bitcoin. I remember it wasn't that long ago. We were showing charts of it was like a map, and all these states are in the process of getting approval to purchase Bitcoin or to form their Bitcoin strategic reserve. And it's like we just forgot about it because it's been a few months. We just had the first state. What do you think happens if and when the US government comes out and says we're buying Bitcoin? This is all speculation. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it never happens. But if it does happen, what do you think? Do you think, okay, it's just status quo, we move on? Or do you think it's likely that other US states and other foreign nation states start also buying Bitcoin? I think that is extremely likely to happen if and when the US government actually starts buying Bitcoin. We've got, the stablecoin bill, we've got the Genius Act, there's a lot that's in process. That the other shoe has to drop for the things to actually start happening. And to Kulchik's point, we're like, oh man, is this the end? Is it over? Meanwhile, TradFi, Vanguard, one of the largest fund managers in the world, is now allowing their customers to finally buy Bitcoin. It's just like something doesn't reconcile here. And I think this current sell-off, I'm not saying 1010 was a gift. I too got liquidated, and I feel for anyone that lost material capital on that day. I'm not saying go open up a 50x long of Bitcoin to attempt to make it all back. I do think that this is a very good time to be DCAing at minimum, is I don't think you'll be regret buying Bitcoin in the 80s. Fast forward 5-10 years. Joey, GM, sir, what brought you up?
I can't unmute. Sorry. GM, guys.
Real quick, how is the audio? I did listen back yesterday. I don't know what it was. There was it was a clicking sound. It was almost like I was playing with my mic or move, which I wasn't. I don't touch it, but I was getting some feedback. I don't think it was the echo that our guests were referring to later in the show. I think that was a different issue. But early in the show, I was getting some sort of feedback on my mic. How are we this morning? Joey, am I sounding crystal clear to you?
Yeah. in the audience and on stage, you sound perfectly fine to me. So whatever you did or didn't do, it's working perfectly fine.
Same question. Thank you. Same question to anyone in Abstract or YouTube. Is the sound coming through okay on the video streams, or are you getting some sort of crazy feedback there? And just let me know in the chat on Abstract and YouTube. I'd appreciate it. Joey, go ahead.
Yeah, I think on this, we've talked about this for years now that I've been coming on the show, and I think you've said it, and even Steve said it, which is like there's been a couple times over the last 100 years where people in this country have had an opportunity to create some sort of generational wealth, right? We look at people who bought real estate when you could buy single family homes for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. And my dad talks about how when he first started to make money in his early 20s, a bunch of houses were up for sale on our block in Brooklyn. And he was like, I want to buy, he was, told his dad, my grandfather, I want to buy these houses because I think it's going to be a great long-term investment. And my grandfather ended up taking the money from him. And that's like a family thing, but he didn't do it. Right. But there was opportunities like that where people foresaw that purchasing real estate in the 70s and maybe even 80s would be an opportunity to create this generational wealth. Then we look at the stock market and people who got in early on, whether it was just, banking stocks or if it was, IT, when people that were like, oh yeah, we need to buy Microsoft and Apple and Google and all these things. And we've said it here where crypto is that next opportunity. And we can play the hindsight game all we want and say, man, we should have bought Solana when it was $10. And man, when Bitcoin dipped to 17,000 in 2022, we should have bought more of it. And it's like the saying of when's the best day to plant a tree? Or right? Is that the saying?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, it was 20 years ago, or today is the second best day.
Right. So I don't know how many times we can have this conversation, right? Bitcoin was at 120 and we were like, oh, we're never going to get another chance to buy it below 100,000. We're all done for. Now it's at 83 and people are like, oh my God, should I buy it now? Or is it going to go lower? We were just talking about how it's never going to go below 100 again. And now it's at 83 or 85. It's like, if you're in this space and you have conviction long term, you should just be buying it every week, every day, every month, whatever it is, regardless of the price. Because when it does, and I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not a fortune teller, but when it does hit 200 or 250 or 400,000, you're gonna be in a position. If you believe that's where it's gonna go, you're gonna be in a better position, regardless. And listen, I know we've talked about this. That's why I love my Coinbase One card. I'm not here to shill, right? But I buy $50 of Bitcoin every single week. I DCA regardless. And now with this new Coinbase One card I have, all of my regular purchases that I used to make, grocery store, paying for my daughter's jujitsu, all this stuff that I was just using a debit card for, I now use my Coinbase One card for. And in the last 30 days, I've gotten $200 in Bitcoin for free.
I think it's brilliant.
For free.
I think I don't have a regret because I just wasn't in the mindset, or I first started building my franchise business in 2008, pre-Bitcoin. But then the next business, I started in 2012 and spun it off in 2013. Man, if I had this on, because people I would use a business cashback card, whether American Express or something else, to get rewards on inventory purchases and stuff. When you're running a business, you're not buying $1,000 worth of groceries and random odds and ends every month. In my business, I was buying, in the wireless business, it was 7 figures of phones every month. In the repair business, it was 6 figures of phone parts every month. And I can't even imagine the amount of Bitcoin I would have stacked that I had one of these Bitcoin cashback cards back then, especially knowing the price of Bitcoin. we'd be doing the show from an island today. It's also not lost on me that on our first day officially saying Steve, we get the this would have sent Steve into a full blown here, referencing the boomers that bought houses for a bag of jelly beans, 50K in 1950, probably more like 5K in 1950. It's now 655K in $2025. Yeah,
the house that I bought, that I live in right now, that I bought in 2021 for 505,000. I'm the second owner. The people lived in it for 40 years. They moved in 19. Well, they bought it in 1981. They bought the land in 1981. Moved in 1982. They bought the land for 30,000 and built the house for 30,000.
It's insane. I'm not sure if Justin Fredericks and Von Frunten have connected yet, but I know there's like 7 Hoosier fans in the country. You two might want to connect before the weekend. This is, you asked in the war room what I was referencing in terms of bond trading. I don't know if I can't trade's out there yet or not. I see some comments in the chat. Oh yeah, I can't trade. You're as always, open invite. You're welcome to join us. I don't want you to feel like I'm talking about you behind your back. I appreciate the Substack and the follow up on this. This was the other thing I was referencing on the yen carry trade. Not my expertise. I know nothing about global currencies. Japan didn't kill the carry trade. They supercharged it. 48 trillion stimulus. BOJ forced to cap yields. Yen stays weak. Carry remains the backbone of global liquidity. 2.5 to 4.5 trillion global yen carry exposure. 1.5 to 3x volatility amplification from 61% ODTE options and record leverage. Volume adjusted risk load when USD JPY wobbles, BTC moves first. The new high beta liquidity gauge. Japan didn't trigger a crisis. They prevented one. I pinned this up top, and he's got or I will pin it up top in a second. And it is up top. And he's got a full Substack on it if you want to read further. But I appreciate that. And I can't trade a big brain that brings the heat quite often. Joey, if you want to share the Substack with your bond trader, by all means. I
actually just sent him the tweet and the link to the Substack. It's all he does. He has got like 4 computer screens at his desk, and he's a high volume bond trader for big high net worth people.
I also related is I saw Wealth Creator in the chat, both in abstract and on X, says the Fed Reserve just pumped $13.5 billion into the U.S. banking system overnight repos. This is the second largest liquidity injection since COVID and surpasses even the peak of the dot-com bubble. I hadn't seen that, not familiar with that. If there's an article or anything you can link to, it'd be great. There's everything to me, except for recent price action since October 10th, and the fact that the traders here haven't had collectively a great, as good of a cycle as they did in 21 or 17 or any past cycle. Everything else is bullish. I can't, I'm like grasping at straws to find something like why would we be over? And everything that's coming in possibly December, everything that's lined up for 2026, extreme bullish indicators. And when you start adding in things like this yen carry trade with liquidity injections in the US banking system, like Vanguard getting in the crypto game finally, none of this is bearish. The only thing bearish is price action. And I can't help but think that a lot of the bearish price action has to do with over leveraged degen traders and whatever happened on October 10th. I don't know. I'm not that smart. I'm a vibe trader, and the vibes to me are back pointing up. So we'll see. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I'll share when if I do, and then it'll be either because here's why I net out. I have conviction in something. I believe Bitcoin will hit 250K. I believe it will head to $1 million. If I full port my 401k and it doesn't, I'm okay with that. When I say 401k too, like it's not like it's not like a 401k that I've built for the last 25 years. It's after our repair business was acquired, I worked for a Fortune 500 company for, well, let's just say 3 years. It was a very good 401k program. They matched 6%. So I fully maxed out my 6% and then some. And, I had a high paid leadership role. So it was a large amount for a 3-year run, but it's not a 7-figure 401k. So it's not like it's not a retirable amount of money as is. So it's not like I'm not going to be not able to retire if Bitcoin goes to zero, if I full port this and Bitcoin goes to zero. So while it's a completely different bucket of funds for me, and I have done a good job keeping my buckets separated, I don't want it to be, I'm trying to do the math. I don't want it to be 2043 and I can start cashing out my 401k and Bitcoin's $1 million. And I'm like, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda. When I had the thought, when I had the conviction, I think it's more likely that it's closer to north of 500K than it is less than 80K. And could it go down from here? Yes. In the next 18 years, do I see it ever? Is there any world where it's less than 80K? Yeah, it's like quantum computing crashes it. Like it's like a true black swan event. Outside of that, it's a finite supply. It's going to be more adopted in 20 years than it is today. Hard stop. There's going to be collectively more demand collectively 20 years out than there is today because more people are going to have it in their retirement accounts. It's just, I don't know. It's where I net out, and I'm probably going to make the move. Again, when I say full port my 401k, it's not the equivalent of someone who's been working in corporate America for their entire lives and that's their only retirement. I still plan on my retirement being a nice exit on a venture or two. That one of them, I go from hitting a single, a double, maybe a triple to hitting one of those home runs. Joey, go ahead and get back in here.
I mean, some of the smartest people in the world keep saying that they think crypto is going to be the next sector added to the S&P 500. So if you, and these people are billionaires, right? And if we've learned anything, money, a lot of the decisions that get made in this world are made by people with the most money, right? Whether we want to admit that or not, whether we like it or not, the wealthy of this world have influence over how things go. And if enough of those wealthy people believe that crypto is going to be here for the next 25, 50, 100 plus years, who are we to say it won't? And the second thing I'll say is, I think we're going to, just look around when you go out. Like when you go to Disney now, they don't even accept cash. Everything is touchless. Touch your phone, touch your credit card. Everything is like, wherever you go now, like there's more and more places that you cannot spend cash. And, there's a theory behind this, and that that you make at the end, because of the percentages that the banks and the credit card companies take, they're making more money off of you because you're using credit cards or touchless payments versus cash, because with cash, they don't take a percentage. So that's why they're pushing this. But if we're moving to this cashless digital world, which that's where we're going, how can crypto not be a part of that?
I agree. I know I sit in a biased seat, but I agree. This is insane. I'm not Wealth Creator. If you want to join us on stage and kind of talk us through this, I would love it. Oxy, if this is in your warehouse, feel free to jump in here. I don't understand it. I don't even know what overnight repurchase agreements really means. I'll take your word for it. It's a liquidity injection. I don't quite understand how. I need to do some more research. But what you're seeing here, this is from the Fed, Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. overnight repurchase agreements, Treasury securities purchased by the Federal Reserve in the temporary open market operations. I don't know what it means other than this is an insane change in the chart. This is, this chart goes back to 2021. You can see like there's like mostly zeros. Occasionally there's a little like, oh, there's 0.001. This is in the billions, by the way. On September 30th of 2024, there was like 2.3 billion. On June 30th of this year, there was 11 billion. And then you just see this insane amount of repurchasing relative to the others. December 1st, yesterday, there was 13.5 billion, which would be the second highest day behind only Friday, October 31st at 29.4 billion. Like, I don't know how to explain this. I don't know exactly what it means. But
my friend texted me. So you're talking about the bond, right, Cap?
Not exactly. This is different than the yen carry trade. This is on the overnight repurchase. Go ahead and see. Let me know what he said on the yen carry trade.
So this is what he's. I think that's. So he said the JGB due March 2060 is paying north of 5%. So original buyers of the security got run over, and those that like them, meaning buyers at current levels, now are getting a 5% yield, which is uncharacteristic of Japanese govies, and will make them attractive to many. So for context, the 30-year U.S. Treasury trades 4.75% versus the Japanese JGB 30-year at 5.05%. And he's still typing.
Yeah, send this one to him as well. This Fred report or this overnight repurchase agreement. See what he says on this one, because this again. Just
did you print it up top?
Yes, it is there from Wealth Creator.
Okay.
This is as far as charts go. This is insane. Like this from June, that was a big one. But really, if you look at Q4 here, this is insanity. Like he's not. Let's just I'm going to dumb it down for myself primarily. If this is in fact liquidity injections and this flows to Main Street, we haven't seen anything like this since pandemic. Like this is wild. Like you see a chart basically be flat, little blips, and then to just be constantly repurchasing these securities. And what just a little extra information for those that are a little more in the know. These eligible securities are U.S. Treasury instruments, federal agency debt, and mortgage-backed securities issued or fully guaranteed by federal agencies. Joey, go ahead.
So I sent him the other link. He's looking at it right now. He said, okay, hold on. He said, so if you're a trader, JGB are cheap to USTs, and you can capitalize on the price fluctuations given how cheap they are. For long-term holders, investors with an international mandate, pensions, etc., 5% is very attractive.
Okay.
So basically, because of how cheap those bonds are trading, you can capitalize on in relation to U.S. Treasuries. There's you can capitalize on those price fluctuations.
I guess my question is between the yen carry trade and these Fed repurchasing this debt, translate that to the market, translate that to Bitcoin, and then the rest of our further out on the risk curve, crypto. Let's do this. I see we got some other guests up here. I'm going to put Oxy on the spot. Oxy, any comments or thoughts on? I just need about 30 seconds. I'm going to go take a mobile stream drop, refill the coffee. I'll be right back. But go ahead, get in here if you have any comments on this, and then hand it to Machiavelli when you're done. I'll be right back.
For sure, yeah. I think the carry trade conversation is kind of out of my depth, to be honest, but it is an interesting one where there's all these discussions on rate hikes in Japan, which will kind of get rid of this carry trade a little bit. Basically what Joey's saying, it sounds like that's what's going on is the difference between the rates between Japan and the US end up getting wiped out, like the trade between the two, where you can borrow yen for super cheap and then swap it to USD and then get that 4 or 5% or what have you. That's kind of going away if they start hiking their interest rates. Related to the repos, I know a lot of stablecoins actually use these overnight repurchase agreements. So essentially, what it's used for is to just actively manage cash flow. So you're essentially selling your treasury bonds overnight to another party that wants to buy them, and then you repurchase them at a slightly higher dollar amount that you had lent them to them for. So it's like a quick overnight trade where you can manage your cash flow while still being able to buy back your treasury bond or what have you the next day for just a little bit of profit for the buyer or the other side of the party. So I don't know what that means for the market and for price action. But I mean, it's interesting. It's a change in the status quo when it comes to the government, spending money on things and injecting money into the market. So I'll be curious to see how this translates down the line. One thing I did want to talk about was we were talking about the regulatory clarity and like how we're in a world right now where crypto is getting a lot of clarity on regulation, and specifically talking to like the Genius Act and how that translates to people feeling, one, I guess, requirements being put on stablecoin providers, and that giving people more and more confidence in stable tokens. So what Genius is requiring is annual audits by third party accounting firms, which like that's my world, and then also proof of reserves. I think quarterly is what was last agreed upon by third party accounting firms. So right now, crypto has this idea or this connotation that it's the Wild West. Everyone's scamming. Everyone's it's just completely unregulated, and obviously we don't want to move completely to a regulated world. But if you want to get the mass adoption, which everyone's been talking about for the last however many years crypto's been around, and like the way that we're gonna have our Bitcoin go to $1 million is through mass adoption. But to do that, you need to have some sort of regulatory framework to get people comfortable. So let's say Genius goes into law. All these stable coins that are that are transacting in the United States have to go through these regulatory hurdles. I think it then translates to people feeling more comfortable holding their assets in stable coins, and then that's just more or less the gateway into some more DeFi products, more on-chain activity, more simply just dropping them into vaults to earn passive yield, which those vaults will then act in different DeFi protocols and different on-chain activity. So like I really want to emphasize that although it kind of feels like it's moving away from the ethos of crypto, if you really want, like if your goal and your ambition is to like crypto to like really get that mass adoption where more than 4% of the entire world holds crypto, which I think right now it's like, I think it's, I need to look at the stats again, but I think it's like less than 5% of the world owns crypto.
Yep.
So if you want to change that, you need to have some sort of comfort to where people are like, okay, I can trust this because of X, Y, and Z. We're in a world right now where that's kind of become, for the first time ever, it's kind of becoming a reality. So I think that's a huge point that is a really like a huge bull case for crypto.
I agree. And you say it's getting away from like the original crypto ethos, but is it? I mean, part of the vision was like disrupting the incumbents in the the traditional banking hierarchy, and I think that's happening. No, it may not be as punk as it once was, but it's, to your point, like you're not going to get mainstream adoption without this stuff. Like it's inevitable, I feel.
Yeah, completely. And I'm more so speaking to like cypherpunk type folks who like, they're like, oh man, any government hands in it, it's ruining the whole ethos of things. Like I can understand where people are coming from, because that's like, they probably got in when, back in 2017 or whatever. So like, I can understand why they would be concerned about these changes where governments and stuff are getting their hands in things. But at the end of the day, like I think for the broader crypto price action and the broader crypto industry and ecosystem, there needs to be a little bit of this, regulatory clarity that gets people comfortable enough to put some of their 401k into, whatever IBIT or whatever you want to speak to. And that's, I see that as the best way forward currently.
I agree. I got another one put up here. I'm not going to read it. It's a long read, but I think it's worth looking back. And it's like crypto and AI, but it's a glazed post on David Sachs, the crypto and AI czar. It's just looking back at all that has happened in the year 2025, at least as it relates to crypto. This is all insanely bullish, I think. And a lot of it is it's like phase one of this stuff actually. Now, when it comes to like the Bitcoin reserve, they basically took the Bitcoin they had seized, they put it in the reserve, they're not going to sell it. It doesn't mean they're going to start buying Bitcoin, but I think it's a possibility. Like they said, they're going to, they take future seized Bitcoin and put it in this reserve. I just, maybe they never come out and buy any crypto. What if they do? It's a good read. There's a lot of stuff here, and I think maybe it's just my algoing, but a lot of things kind of lined up, hit me all at the same time yesterday, and got me feeling much better about the current state of the market. Machiavelli GM, sir, what brought you up this morning? Take it whichever direction you'd like.
I'm coming to you live from the streets, Captain. I'm sitting inside of a Waffle House waiting for a fight to break out as we speak.
Is this a Miami Waffle House?
No, sir. This is somewhere at the tip of Florida. You know what I'm saying?
If it's the Jacksonville Waffle House, you might actually see a fight. A kid.
Where we at?
Shot anyone in Jacksonville.
Probably in the sundown town. No, we're in the sundown town right now.
Don't even know what that means. Like the town is.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. That's what the person across the table just told me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, good luck. Hopefully no fights. Looking forward. I saw Jax down in Miami already for Art Basel, and looking forward to seeing some Princes. I still need to determine when I'm coming down. I actually need
What day are we doing the coffee with Captain at Board Cuban?
I don't know if we're gonna pull a live one off or not, but on my top of my agenda list today is actually finalize my meetings and what day or days I'll be down there, and probably looking at Thursday most of the day, but I need to finalize that today. It's top of my to-do list once the show wraps. Since you got you, a good segue. There's a few other things more specific related than high-level Bitcoin and the market at large. Following up on yesterday's conversation around ApeCo and even Ape specifically, I saw our friend 1K had a long post on Ape. I'll pin this up top here in a second as well. Shared some data points, some observations, and talking about fully functional chain with the marquee DApp like Otherside, thousands of active users, not TG farmers, has no business sitting at a $200 million market cap. I agree, but it requires some real problem solving to pull it back up. Just blaming it on the market and staking VC emissions is rather a lazy approach to a complex problem. Agreed. I'm not saying it's just.
I've been a little confused, Cap. To be honest with you, when it comes to ApeCoin, and ever since the DAO was dissolved, like we've seen how the market's performed. We've seen how ApeCoin's performed. I don't think that you can blame it on any particular situation. We, like you said, we did have a Black Swan event on 10/10, and coincidentally, if you look at the way that the charts are working and stuff, 10/10 or right around 10/15 was that 1,000 like 38 days or whatever it was that we were in a bull run cycle. And so like as I'm watching the markets right now and I see ApeCoin underperforming and stuff, like I can't put my thumb on it, but I do believe that right now with the 12th coming and staking emissions ending, unlocks ending in March and stuff like that, like and ApeCoin going deflationary, like I'm not worried. You know what I mean? It is a little like, whenever you're getting paid in tokens and stuff like that, like people want to judge or people want to say this and that, or that when they're buying coins, like go buy it. It's a Black Friday sale. You know what I mean? Like that's the only way that I've been thinking about this. And I think that we're going to be fine. We do have that killer dApp. I think ApeChain is cooking. I think that it has one of the strongest, if not the strongest, community in this ecosystem. And so, like, it's really like no sweat on my back. It's like not here nor there. I think that it's only prevalent to me right now about worrying about price because everybody else is worried about price when it's not a thought in my mind. It's not how I execute. It's not how I work. Like, I don't get up and work harder because ApeCoin's down or not work as hard because ApeCoin's down. I get up and work hard every day because I got to work hard every day, and we're in this ecosystem and we're here to build and we're here to grow. And regardless if ApeCoin is 1 cent or it's 50 cents or it's $27, I'm still going to get up and I'm going to push that 110%, you know?
Yep. Agreed. I'll follow up 1K with some of Garga's thoughts. Has mirrored the market since 1010. To your point, it's been a brutal one. Every altcoin got crushed, underperforming majors. Looked into this a few days ago, mapping Ape to a basket of other alts, and it's smack dab in the middle of them. Even punks are down more than Ape in that same time frame. I quoted that exact same thing yesterday. Since in the last 2 months, punks are down from $228,000 to $83K. I can almost guarantee you, had Yuga not sold them, people would be blaming Yuga for the punks dip in price. They're an easy punching bag. So I think like it's not, and the counter to this is, well, ApeCo's doing things. They have Otherside. They should be outperforming the other alts that aren't doing anything. That's fair. It's just also like to single out one token or one team that's down. It just is. Go find someone that's not.
Well, we just had a change in leadership. You know what I mean? Like this has just happened. You know what I mean? Like at the beginning of September, I believe is when they formed ApeCo and stuff like that. And then, you know what, we're 3 months into this, and you know, like that's not enough time to really decide or concise whether it's leadership, if it's the market. Like you can only say it's the market, because I've been hearing a lot of things in the background, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions, you know. And that's just what they are. It's like they're all opinions. Like, and we have to let the cycle play out. We have to let the team do what they're going to do. And I have faith, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I believe in a lot of the people working at ApeCo and in this ecosystem. And I think that now that everybody's unified, they're on the same mission, on the same path. Like, we can only do better. And will the price reflect that at this very moment? Probably not, because of the down market that we're in. And since 1010, what we've seen. But will it reflect that in the near future? I 100% do believe so.
Yeah, maybe. Garga goes on to say the full 8% allocated to founders almost 4 years ago has not been touched, and Yuga isn't selling. I do think ape staking was a total mess. And by the way, no founder staked any of our ape either. Yuga obviously holds some of its treasury on ApeChain, so it gets some passive yield from there. Staking had the noble aim of aligning apes with the ongoing success of the token, even more than just sitting, getting airdrop the token at the start. But the regulatory situation made this staking design nonsensical, and the result was a super inflationary setup that did not in any way penalize folks for constantly selling as they generated yield, which was just poor design. The end of the current staking setup will be a long-term good thing for Ape, in his opinion. I think Ape performance will go hand-in-hand with Otherside. Will grow as Otherside. Ape increases penetration in overseas markets. Otherside is obviously a massive swing, and as heartened as I've been by the community truly digging Nexus, there's much more to come. It needs to be a one-stop shop for anyone who wants to build a game or social experience in crypto, whether it's AAA dev shop or a hobbyist or anything in between. I added that. I think it's a huge product that no one else in crypto is even attempting to do at real scale. I also agree. And the thing that is unique to ApeChain, a product that no one will be able to catch up to. I appreciate you and know that there's wood to chop on the comms front and making a value proposition between Ape Otherside more clear. And shows a chart here that is some of those alts, and you can see where Ape does sit right in the middle, ahead of Arb, Pingu, ENA, and some others. It's just been a tough month, and go look at charts, zoom out 6 months, and it's very obvious what happened, or something happened 10-10. The other, I guess, kind of the segue right off that is our guest yesterday. We had a great conversation with the team over at, and I think I just killed my tab again. That's what I get. The team over at Chimpers, and they're following the conversation on Coffee with Captain. They sent out the formal announcement, which I will pull up here in a second, about the brand alignment and the future of Chimpers and ApeCo and ApeChain, and really this deep working relationship, kind of as we talked about yesterday, and this idea of Otherside becoming the digital home for the crypto natives, and it's happening. Yes, Chimpers is one of those, but I think we'll see more and more go this route. This is
Cap, there's about 100 projects right now trying to get avatars made or get their community together in order to have a whole collection complete to put into Otherside right now, and that's just from this ecosystem.
Yep. Here's the announcement. Shared goal through this partnership, Chimpers and ApeCo aim to extend their shared foundation, connecting digital culture, entertainment, and character-driven IP at global scale. They share some background, what's coming up. Chimpers and ApeCo are working on both digital and physical brand experiences, extending recent work together on the integration of Chimpers. Viral social mascot is a playable character on Otherside in the Rise of the Hybrids collectible card experience. To start, the teams have completed an initial treasury swap of Ape and Chimpster to give each ecosystem meaningful skin in the other's long-term success. Next up is a rebuild of Chimpers Dojo inside the Otherside, featuring arcade-style games, integrated experiences, and cross-community activations. Future initiatives are planned to deepen cross-brand storytelling by including each other's IP and collectibles, physical products, and culture collaborations across ApeChain, Otherside, and other social media. It's a win. It's a win for Chimpers. It's a win for ApeChain and ApeCo. I mean, we were talking yesterday that the Chimpers social reach is in the millions, leading Web3 on many fronts, and that now will benefit Otherside and ApeCo and all the powers that be. I think this is the very early days of it's funny, the X algo really is on point with Grok is on point when it comes to summarizing individual algos. It is pretty impressive. I was trying to search for that Chimpers announcement on my mobile so I can put it up top, and instead of that, I got the X or the Grok summary. I don't know why I can't find the actual announcement I was just sharing. Oh, here it is. Got it. Because of an article, and they do articles kind of funny sometimes. It's not letting me share it. Maybe I can't. Anyways, search the Chimpers account, you'll find it. That announcement's out there. And congrats to Chimpers, congrats to the Ape team. I think it's it may not reverberate through all of crypto Twitter or the space at large, but I think for those that are paying attention, it's a nice win, and I think a sign of more good things to come. Go ahead, Jashaka. Speaking of good things to come, I got another announcement we will move into next.
No, I was just gonna say, like, as a project that is we're building a game that uses Otherside compatible avatars. And I think that one of the big things people don't realize that ApeCo is doing with Otherside is kind of creating a file format that any project will be able to use to embed 3D avatars in their own ecosystem. I see so many projects launching games, and they're limited to what can be in their games, right? But what Yuga Labs is creating is it's basically taking all of Web3 and moving it into 3D one project at a time. And I think this will be invaluable, to be perfectly honest, right? So, like the guys at Kid Called Beast, they're launching their own game. They can introduce avatars by just getting access to the Otherside APIs, right? So plug and play, and all of a sudden your avatar can work in multiple places. And I think this is huge value, because I think Web3 is moving from 2D to 3D. And I think this is kind of like the AWS of Otherside, right? It's, infrastructure as a service, right? Bringing all our avatars to life. And I think it's something that people don't talk about enough, to be honest. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Good take. It is exciting to see what is built. I agree on building a standard format, and this was kind of this idea of interoperability and taking your assets wherever it's happening. Now it's a matter of getting not only the rest of crypto Twitter to pay attention, but hit the moment of bringing in whether it's people from Chipper socials or others, ComplexCon I mentioned yesterday, bringing those individuals on chain and giving them a reason to explore and something to want to do as well. And I don't know, it's not the optimal time for it, but there is something there. I do want to. I mentioned there was some foreshadowing there with good vibes. We'll come back to that in a second. While we're on the topic of ApeCo, there's also another announcement, another fun little game that's only live for 5 days, a little mini game. Drink, Drank, Drunk is live. It's a new dunk tank. It's live for 5 days. Everyone gets 3 free throws. You can win prizes, put points on the board, your favorite communities, and send someone for a swim. The top scoring communities will earn the following sweeps from the intern: 10,000 ape, 5,000 ape, 3,000 ape. Top 3 most successful dunkers, most dunks on the individual leaderboard, will win either a Gobs on Ape or a G's on Ape. Pretty easy to get set up. Although I do, my one point of feedback, and I'll relay this to the team. I don't know, something's broken with like my delegate. I have delegated, like it works on my hot wallet, identifies my assets, but I can't get it to recognize my glyph wallet, whatever I've done. I went back yesterday and re-added it again. And I'll just show you, like, this is, easy to play. You get in, you can choose who you want to dunk. And then it's, it is like a traditional dunk tank game. At part of the process, you'll choose your community that you want to support. And again, the community that gets the most is going to get those sweeps. But my profile's blank. I'm not showing any inventory. I try to do it, and you don't have this item. I do. I just don't have them in my glyph. I don't have nothing in my glyph wallet other than like maybe some posters I minted. Everything else is in other hot wallets or hardware wallets that I don't know. I love the glyph technology. This is the one final piece of connecting that the tech needs to really make it full go is. I think it's easy and seamless for someone who's not in crypto. For those of us that are in crypto and we have assets in other wallets, or we have our wallet segmented, or wallet segmented, I've continually ran into roadblocks or issues on this front. And so basically, like, I just can't. I was going to go do it yesterday. I do it today. I just can't. I guess I could. I go fund my glyph wallet and then go buy a, because these NFTs are not, I mean, you can see the communities here. Some of these NFTs you can buy for a few ape. So it's not that expensive. I just was going to use wallet or use assets I have. And for whatever reason, delegate's not working. If anyone knows what I'm doing, why delegate wouldn't be working with glyph, or why it's not showing any of my assets, I did double check. I've not been drained. They're all still there. But I can't get anything to pull through. So, it's a me problem. It's not, but yeah, if anyone has any tips, cool check. Are you aware of what my delegation issues might be, or take it whatever direction you'd like?
It's not a you problem. I've had the same issue, and sometimes I just have to go back in and redelegate.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. That's what like I did that before and it worked. This time I did it and I've refreshed. I was like, maybe it's just going to take some time. And it's still, I just checked that just now. It's still 0. So it's kind of frustrating.
I feel silly asking you this, but you did change the network to ApeChain.
Yeah. You mean on here or on Delegate?
On Delegate.
Yeah. So I chose all chains, and then I did change it to ApeChain, and still nothing. I spent, I don't know, probably a half hour on Delegate yesterday, and I finally just gave up. And so that's where, like, when we talk about wider crypto adoption within the crypto space, that stuff matters. Like, I'm deep in the ecosystem. I say I gave up on drink, drank, drunk because it's just not that deep for me. But others that aren't deep in the ecosystem may just never come back. I do think they got to figure out something there. They bought Warm Wallet. There's this one piece. They're like so close to having this seamless and hiding all the tech. This part's just frustrating. I'm just being honest. It's frustrating to have assets that should be worth something in this ecosystem. And I continually, even in other sides, sometimes it's not, assets that should appear aren't appearing. Mostly that's taken care of now, but this last little connection point for the crypto users who have assets spread across wallets is, at least for my personal journey, it's been rather frustrating.
Yeah, it's irritating. I have the same issue on Otherside and other apps, but I think on the dunk. That's hard to say. I don't think you have to own that asset or any of those particular assets. So, because I don't like, there's only one on those few that you could select. That I chose a different team or a different project that I did not own. So before I realized I could scroll down and choose other projects, and it still let me play. But I don't know if that's, if you knew that or not, but I don't think you have to own a particular asset on that game. I could be wrong though.
Cool. I will go back and check it out later and see. I just, at the same time, I think yeah, that it's a miss right now. Figure that piece out. I think it'd be a big win, because that's part of the thing, is being able, again, the interoperability, cross compatibility of these assets is part of the thing, and it needs to work. I didn't realize Art Basel events already kicking off. This is from Adam. Rumor is that Figgy talk, the Otherside talk at Art Basel was a hit of the event so far. Standing ovation, mostly non-Web3 crowd. Got exposed to Yuga Labs Nexus for the very first time. Great job to Eli and Redbeard for help getting digital art on the main stage for all to see. Legendary work happening by these two gentlemen. That's awesome. Was not aware it's already underway, but great to hear and topical. The other bit of news I had on my agenda, and I'll go check my notes. Maybe there's a couple more, but the last tabs I had opened up was a new Zeke campaign. This one with Good Vibes Club. They just kicked off a tournament with includes 20,000 Vibester, 20,000 USD of Vibester, and 3 Good Vibe Club NFTs. This leaderboard, I'll pin this up top here in a second so you can go explore further. But tips for success show how collectors, Vibesters, and NFT work together in a unified system, pushing GVC into the new era of alignment. Highlight how GVC is pioneering a new model for community-powered ecosystems and brand building. Explore the badge system, the vibe wheel, and why being an active collector unlocks ongoing rewards. Capture the strength and culture of GVC's blue chip community and the team behind it. Dive into GVC's art, traits, characters, districts, and Vibetown lore. Anything that brings the world to life. Spotlight the craftsmanship behind the project, including Toast TV and the award-winning animation studio. I said when I saw this, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the most visually pleasing Invoke.fi campaign to date. There's knowing that the creators in the community, as well as the source material in terms of the art they have to work with. I think we'll see some pretty fun stuff on the timeline. That prize, that 25K, breaks down 5,000 to first, 2,000 to second, 1,000 to third, 500 each to 4th through 10th, and 100 each to 11th through 20th, plus the 3 Good Vibes Club will be rafted off to the top 50 creators. If you've not yet set up an account on Zeke, go get that done today and start talking about Good Vibes Club. Good luck to all those participating. The alpha is, this is an open book test. Here's what they want you talking about. These bullet points, talk about those bullet points. That will get you Zeets, and you move up the leaderboard. That out of the way. Few other topics of the day. I am going to have to reference my notes here. We talked about the Vanguard ETF potentially full porting my 401k into the Bitcoin ETFs. We talked about what happens if the U.S. government actually does start buying Bitcoin. Sailor and MicroStrategy, or Strategy rather, excuse me, did they just started a cash reserves to pay out dividends. Kalshi just went on chain. They launched on Solana. We talked about the Japan, the carry trade, Chimpers and ApeCo, Good Vibes Club, and Zeet, and one other one that's a little bit of a pivot, but something that caught my attention, and it's another ecosystem I'm just catching up on. I can't trade whenever he posts something in the comments. It catches my attention because usually some big brain topics that I feel worthy of sharing. So I'm just going to read this one in real time. I haven't no pressure. It better be a good post. Look at these fundamentals and headlines. The SEC chair is going to talk about the Clarity Act today. All the real money is moving into Bitcoin and ETH. How can people be bearish? I agree. I mean, I understand how people can be bearish because numbers just went down for for seemingly, I mean, since October 10th. We got SEC chair delivering a major speech today. Seemingly Clarity Act. You got another one here. Every time Bitcoin's energy oscillator bounced off lowest levels, a bull run followed. It's currently bounced at those lowest levels again. 3.4 trillion Goldman Sachs acquires Bitcoin structured fund in latest deal. They acquire Innovator Capital Management, issue of defined outcome ETFs for approximately $2 billion. Might not seem significant, but it's a huge step for investment bank that once told clients to stay far away from digital assets. GS has shown increasing bullishness towards crypto and blockchain technology, participating in 18 investments between 2020 and 2024. And the Federal Reserve officially ending QT, quantitative tightening. And I'll pull it up now, but I'm pretty sure the rate cut this month is all but guaranteed at this point. I shouldn't say that. Nothing's a given, but it is, I want to say 91% up. Up quite significantly. We've got 91%. We get a 25 bips decrease. You can see at one point, this had dropped down to only 22% not that long ago. And it's now corrected all the way back up to 91%, all but certain. This is not, I'll go check the CME report here in a second, but 1% chance we get a 50 basis bips decrease. Most likely it's the 25 bips, and we're off to the races. So as expected, we'll see that if it follows through. Let me go pull up the FME. It should be FMC. Let's speak correctly. My chat or my search is not searching. CME, that's why I was searching the wrong thing. It's not as easy as Polymarket to find things on, but I'll have it pulled up here in a second. I'm pretty sure we're good. I'm pretty sure we'll get a rate cut. What that does to the market, I don't know. Is it priced in? Maybe. It's kind of hard to think anything is priced in. CME Fed Watch. Let's just search that directly. See if I can go right to the chart. Here we go. 87%. So 91% on Polymarket, 87% on CME, and their track record on any of this stuff is about as good, if not better, than Polymarket. They're actually saying, okay, yeah. So most likely we get the 25 bips rate cut. 87% to 91%. Not a guarantee, but about as close as you get in talking things rate cut. So I don't know, man. It feels like something has to give. Market is up 2% today. I just noticed. So nice rebound. Bitcoin's up almost 3% today, up to 88,000 after dumping yesterday. I'm just gonna say it. I think bottom is in. Maybe not. Maybe this is a dead cat bounce. There's more that leads me to be bullish than bearish. The only thing I have bearish is short-term price action, is potentially liquidity amongst the degens, amongst the traders. But you look at you look at the real fund managers, you look at the people who aren't in the trenches, and it's all signs point up. All signs point to things turn. And again, we want to buy dips, not rips. We want to buy when fear and greed is at extreme fear, not when it's extreme greed. Still sitting at 24, by the way. So I said it would lag. I think if we didn't have that bounce, I think it would be worse today. It was 23 yesterday, up slightly to 24 today. I think if the markets continue to move up today, we probably do see maybe we get into fear. Maybe we exit extreme fear. Just every indicator, every data point that I look at is bullish, other than short-term price action. And yeah, I'm just catching up here. Like the quantum computing, like sure, absolutely could be a thing and could nerf the whole thing. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to even begin to pretend I can think on the level of a quantum computer or what a quantum computer might do to Bitcoin. I get it's a real threat. Maybe when you talk about 401ks, that is the threat. But the reality is, while I can't exit the 401k, or I can and pay a penalty, while the plan would not be to exit a 401k until you're 63 or whatever the date is. You can move it around. I could go all in Bitcoin ETFs for the next 3 years, and it runs up to 250, 500, and I can take those gains and put it right back into tech stocks or S&P. Joey in the chat from his friend, his broker friend, says, a lot to explain via text, but here's the synopsis. A focus should be on the upcoming FOMC rate decision next Wednesday. A cut, which we think is 90%-ish to happen, would affect the repo market because the cut could lead to lower repo rate, which is a decrease in borrowing costs for financial institutions that operate in the repurchase agreements in the overnight market. I don't think the repo market has any bearing on crypto. What I do think is that there has been a risk-off tone in general, which has been evident globally over the past month or so. The market is fragile as a result of extreme fear, so crypto has been hit as a result. I think people/firms are waiting on rate decision next week before adding risk. We may be pricing in this rate cut. We are gamblers. I'm not the only one here who hunts for positive EV and looks to get in bets that I'm plus EV on. The world is they want certainty. Most of the world, your large funds, they don't like uncertainty. They want certainty. And right now there's been a lot of fear in all markets. There's been a lot of uncertainty in all markets. And while we think 90% is about as a sure thing as we get, and if you're a crypto trader, you probably take you probably take 90% at good odds 10 times out of 10. I do. If it's plus EV, if I'm making plus money on 90% odds, give me the 90%. I will roll that dice, and over the course of my lifetime, I will be a profitable predictor. Knowing that 1 in 10 times I could lose, but I'm going to keep firing, and so over the long run, I'm a winner. The world doesn't operate like that. And so I think while crypto has been hit hard, if we get the rate cut next week, and that's maybe not priced in for the rest of the markets, they're waiting for it actually to happen, the wise, prudent thing to do, we then could get the bounce. So if you believe that, the rate cut's not priced in, and we're going to send next Wednesday, I think is the FOMC meeting. When is next Fed meeting? December 10th. Yes, so it is next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we send. So you've got 7 days. Yeah, testing says we're definitely risk off for now. I agree, but Andrew also dropped in the chat another follow-up on that liquidity injection, calling it the Fed injected 13. It looks like copy pasta from whoever shared it first. They actually grabbed my chart that I shared, I think. I kid. I'll put it up top in case you missed it. Yeah, the biggest liquidity injection since COVID and exceeding any single overnight repo seen during the .com era. That's from Lark Davis. That's up top. Seems like a big deal. Just, I'm not smart enough to understand exactly how that translates, but to me, it's just one other data point that bodes well. Sorry for the sirens. That bodes well for all our bags. No joke intended. Let's do this. Quick round the horn. As soon as I do that, the siren's going to be gone. Does that come through? Do you guys hear that on?
Oh, that was so loud.
Yeah, sorry. That's where if Steve was on, I could just throw down my mic. You would never know it, and he'd take it and run. Steve, do you like water? A kid. Let's do this quick around the horn. Anything I didn't hit on this morning? Anything that was on your guys' mind that you were hoping we'd talk about or discuss on today's show? Proof of Alpha Degen, welcome to the stage. First of all, always a pleasure to have you up here. I don't think we went to you yet. Let's start with you, and then we'll go to Shaka, and then we'll wrap with Machiavelli, and if we'll see where the conversation takes us, but probably get y'all out of here. Proof of Alpha Degen, if you're with us. GM? If not, no worries. Going once, going twice. We also have Loki's Painster thesis. It's up 44% ahead of Art Basel. The alpha is straight ahead of you on the tweet. Wrote a whole investor grade analysis on Substack, original thesis in October's in his pinned tweet. This is the NFT bull catalyst. I hope so. I don't like, I like strategy. I like what they're doing. By the way, I can't trade. We had the guest yesterday. We couldn't do December 1st, but yeah, we'd love to get you and Drew on here to talk in more greater detail at some point. Maybe that's a good, if you're available tomorrow or later this week, we can do a deep dive on this thesis here. I do think there is going to be some things come out of Art Basel. I originally thought it was going to be abstract. I originally thought it was going to be Pingu and abstract driven. Igloo is headquartered in Miami. Last year we got the abstract announcement, or no, was it Pingu drop or abstract? One of the big announcements came at Art Basel. I was expecting something there. However, Luca just shared in the Inner Igloo recently that they're not going to not announce the biggest announcements during a risk-off environment like this, during a bear, even if it's short term.
Last year was a Pingu announcement.
Pingu last
and then
year.
it dropped on the 17th.
Yeah, so I was expecting, and we probably can still get something. I'm just not expecting I'm not expecting, abstract TGE or anything major. Digital art is being featured for the first time ever at Art Basel. There's actually been digital art there before, but this is the first time they're actually having a full dedication, a full focus on it.
It's recognized.
Yep. Loki's bull posting the X copy thesis here. That's a tweet. Max Payne strategy. Check his pinned tweet in detail. More on that, and we are going to do the deep dive here soon. But certainly something there. I do, man. If we get a full on bull, if we come back to a risk on environment, the flywheel can fly from Chipsters to Vibester to Painster and Punkster and everything in between. Like, it could get really interesting really fast. We've not been really in a full-on bull like this. And yeah, Pain strategy, while it's up 49% of the day, it's still a market cap of 800,000. Like, in myself, I'm not viewing NFTs as financial assets at this point. I'm not saying it is a financial asset, but for me, it's a collectible. It's an access pass. I'm not buying NFTs with the idea of I'm going to resell this to someone else at a higher dollar amount in a week, a month, a year. Just not. What I would buy is a token that I feel has significant financial upside. I would buy a token as a trade right now. And these are tokens that interest me, especially when you're talking about getting in on something like a token tied to X copy that you get in for a sub $1 million market cap. Doesn't seem awful. Most of them are green on the day, minus Burb, and I don't even know what GLHF is. Chimps are down a little bit, but they'd had the big run up and are the best performer. Actually, Vibe strategy and chip strategy going back and forth. These are the two that have made it their ecosystem token. It's also the two that hold the most other deed actually holds 609. But if you believe in the thesis, if you believe in the flywheel, there's entry points that are a lower price point, that are a lower market cap than an X copy NFT, for example. What I would love to do is, seriously, if I make a good trade on Pain strategy, I hold none right now, something I'm considering. If I make a good trade on Pain strategy and I hit a home run on it, I'd likely roll that into a X copy PFP, probably Grifter, if I could. Like, I'm not in the market to buy Grifter today, but if I'm looking to buy an NFT as art or a collectible, I want something I really want to collect, and it's those that have this historical provenance of, highly respected artists. I'm not really like in the mode for I'm going to go collect a bunch of new 10,000 collection NFTs. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's got to be more to it. There's got to be games and gamify. There's got to be something else there. And I'm not saying it can't work. I just am not. It's not something I'm looking at right now. I'm pretty much fully allocated until I hit some W's. I had a little stimmy on Monad, and I parlayed that into a house. I'm not.
Who else can say that? You just,
Well,
I got a Monad stimmy. I parlayed it into a house.
It's not really that exciting. It went into an escrow deposit, not the house itself. Now that would be a trade if the house that Monad built. I kind of did it as a bit though, because if I do an close on thing, I absolutely will take a picture of it, be like the house that Monad built as a engagement form on the timeline. So look for that. Know that when I do post that, it didn't really buy the house, but helped.
I will retweet that.
Actually, what it did do is it helped me sell closer to the top. Monad bounced today; it's up significantly from yesterday's lows, but I still remain very bearish on that ecosystem. I tried to make it a go. I tried to explore. Monad's up 31% of the day. No, is that right? Yeah, 31% of the day. Big bounce off yesterday's lows. Dipped down below pre-ICO levels. I'm not buying it. I think it's probably just market makers doing their thing. They took off over the holidays, and they're like, "Oh shit, we can't let it fall below ICO levels." So, and I'm not attacking Monad or the team. The tech works. The chain's fine. It's quick, snappy. It's just they don't have any. There's no dApps. Like, I keep going back to bro.fun to have any sort of activity. And then it's like, oh, do I try to grind my way to the top 50 on that leaderboard? I'm 110 right now this current week for a share of $2,300. Or today it's $3,100 for split prunks 50 people. Like, what are you doing? I hope someone from Monad listens in, because if you need dApps, or you need at least heavily incentivize your users to play with the handful of lackluster dApps you do have. Not a shot at bro.fun. It's a fun, addictive type of game. It's the same thing. It's death.fun reskin. It is what it is. It's not, as soon as the farming's over, people aren't going to play this sort of gambling game. They're just not. It's a novelty. The novelty's going to wear off very soon. And if you want people to more people to play now, you need to incentivize them. And sharing $3,100 across 50 people is not going to get it done. Just compare that to the Good Vibes. Good Vibes, someone I support, team I love. Here's like, I could go play bro.fun and I could grind Monad to get a share of $2,300, $3,100. Or I could talk about Good Vibes Club, team that I actually like and want to support and think they're doing some cool stuff, and get my share of $25,000. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like, it's just, you can't, no one here cared. I shouldn't say no one. Very few people here care about a rewards program that is $40 a person. Get out of here. I'm not trying to sound like some, jerk or, someone that's, I wouldn't step over $50 if I saw it on the sidewalk. I'm not going to go farm a chain for $50. There's just, the opportunity cost is just too much. There's too much other stuff to do with my time and my capital to go do something. I may or may not get $50, $46. Like, zero excitement on that. Jashaka, go ahead and get back in here, and then we'll give Machiavelli any final thoughts. We'll let everyone get on their way.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, sorry, I'm driving. No, I just wanted to mention, because we are in the NFT space, and I don't know if it's the elephant in the room, but I think NFTs have taken a huge hit in this bear run. You can pick up Azukis for like $2,000, right? And I'm just not sure if, people realize, people are freaking out and really selling the dip. But whenever I run an exchange, and whenever Bitcoin, when the bear market hit, Bitcoin would take a dump, but alts would take a massive dump. And so that's happened in our industry as well. The only difference is that all of the top NFT projects, they launched their own currencies. And so at the end of the day, the value of the currency affects the price of the NFT, right? So when you see an eBay coin take a huge dump, Azukis take a massive dump as well. And I think this is something new to the whole NFT ecosystem, because last year, apart from Bored Apes, I don't think any projects really had launched their own cryptos. But I think this affects the price massively. But I think people should understand the correlation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, I get it. Yes. I think it's more so than their own currency. Like, I think more so that, like, I guess, like, to deduce from that, that means like apes, Bored Ape Yacht Club, apes and mutants are down because ape is down. Maybe. I don't know if it's directly correlated quite like that across the board. Maybe for some. I think it's more of a crypto is down, majors are down, people are getting liquidated, and so they're selling assets that are further out the risk curve to avoid liquidation, or they're forced sellers and they need to take some liquidity out of the market, and this is their positions they're going to exit first are the ones that are furthest out on the risk curve, which is alts and NFTs. It just is what it is. So I think without some other catalyst, if majors are dumping and there's no reason to hold or buy these fringe assets, alts and NFTs, there's just going to be more sellers than buyers. It just is what it is. And I also fully understand and can appreciate teams not wanting to shoot their shots. They got a big announcement or two up their sleeve. I fully understand and appreciate them not wanting to fire those shots off during a market like this. So yeah, it does hold some merit. I just don't know as if it's a direct correlation per se. I think it's more correlated with majors than it is with their own tokens. Just my opinion, but there's definitely correlation. I think they're probably closely correlated with when majors are dumping like this, people are freaking out and getting liquidated, become forced sellers, etc. I think it's going to have. By the way, I'm seeing now that we talked about it, I'm seeing this Fed Reserve pumping $13.5 billion in the U.S. banking system overnight. Second largest liquidity injection since COVID. It's so funny to me how everyone just rips this. Like, they don't even attempt to change the word. I don't know which one hit first. Some of these are viral. Like, this has 11,000 likes. It came out last night at 8 p.m. So I don't know who shared the chart first. I don't know who shared the verbiage first, but this one's spinning it like a negative, if I'm understanding, with probably fine, carry on, close. Yeah, bullish Bitcoin. Here goes the money printers. AI slop. This is a whole another conversation for another day. The AI slop has really, I don't know, it's made me feel a certain way about AI in general. I think AI needs another, at least the LLMs, the chatbots, like, it's not heading in a good direction. I saw I think it was Serpent. We'll get Serpent on here today. I haven't talked about it. I think he vibe coded something that you can mass mute people now. In particular, mass mute. My thing showed up shared, right? Yeah, okay. Mass mute these AI bots. Sort of works with muting instead of blocking, which is better in his opinion. Biggest issue is rate limiting 5 per 15 minutes is rough, but we can set up jobs to support. 287 takes 14 hours right now. Just need to crowdfund $5K a month to do 50 per 15 minutes. So a tool that blocks all Kaido, Wallchain, Galaxy, Layer 3 users on X. He does a show on Wednesday, like a vibe coding show, probably we're turning into. I like Serpent. I always enjoy the conversation. So I talk about like new formats of the show. This is when I talk. So here's my vision. Let me get your thoughts on this, and we'll get everyone out of here. As I think about moving forward, not gonna, and this isn't an offense to anyone. I'm not gonna attempt to replace Steve as a one-to-one co-host. He's irreplaceable. I don't mean that as offense to anyone. It's a compliment to Steve, and it's true to our chemistry. We've done 1,000 shows together. It'd be unrealistic to think anyone, freaking Joe Rogan, could step in. He's not going to be as good a co-host as Steve was because I don't have any chemistry with Joe Rogan. It's just that 1,000 show. Now, a year or two from now, maybe that changes. But right now, I'm not attempting to. I don't want another co-host to be judged to Steve. Oh, they're not. I like Steve better, or they're not as good as Steve, or they didn't finish that cap sit and Steve would have got that. Steve would have understood. I don't want that to be a thing. But what I'm leaning towards, and I'm curious your thoughts on this, is future special guest interviews, like let's say we have Serpent on later this week to talk about his vibe coding tool that helps mute the AI slop. I'm not going to have him join us at 9. My thinking is I'd have him join us at 8. He'd be the co-host. We have a normal conversation for the first hour, and then we move into their topic. You know, Serpent just being an example. We talk about his new vibe coding tool. I see Jonah out there. We're going to have a big clipping conversation one day. I want Jonah to talk about that, but instead of having Jonah join us at 9, hey, Jonah, can you join us today? Sit in the co-host seat for the first hour of the show. We help warm up the room. We'll talk news of the day, any other topics, and then we'll give you the second hour to shill whatever you're passionate about, whatever you're building. Loki, you got some big NFT Renaissance show coming up. You want to promote? Well, join me. Let's talk about it, but don't join me for just the second hour. Let's do the full show together, and you'd be that co-host for the first part of it. We'll, again, same format of the show. We'll talk news of the day, trending topics, and then we move into the topic that they're the subject matter expert on. Does that make sense? Thoughts on that? Let's go back.
I love that idea, Cap. I think that, everything evolves, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this space. And it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday, but it's like there's a bright future in this path. And I think that's a great way to approach this. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you have the kind of lineup and the kind of guests that come on this show, they're worthy of that co-host seat, and they're worthy of that 2-hour, run.
All you kids out there, all you Zoomers, this is your homework for the day. Especially all you Zoomers that might be single and looking for some Spotify and chill music. You need to up your Spotify and chill playlist. Your homework today is go listen to some Boys to Men. I don't have any specific. I mean, you're going to start with "So Hard to Say Goodbye."
Listen to all of them. Just listen to all of Boys to Men, and you will. Listen.
My only disappointment. I just searched, and the "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye" subreddit it's the subreddit millennials. With all due respect, my brothers from Boys to Men, as well as Bone Thugs and everyone from that era, this is a Gen X thing. This is not a millennial thing. This was released in 1991. The millennials weren't even listening to music at that point, or they were listening to Disney Kid Bop stations. They weren't listening to smooth hip hop and R&B.
I was, Cap. I was like 7, 8 years old listening to hip hop, R&B, singing it, like the whole 9 yards. I love soul music as well at that age.
I can't believe I'm going to share this. I probably shared it before. This is my confession with Cap, and then we'll get to Shaka's thoughts on the potential future format of bringing our special guest interviewees on to co-host the first half of the show. But my Cap confession of the day is vivid core memory. And Steve leaves one day, and I'm talking about making out with as a 16-year-old in Dairy Queen parking lot to LL Cool J songs. Any guesses? Anyone? Any Gen X or maybe older millennials can guess what LL Cool J song I made out to in the parking lot?
Mama Said Knock You Out?
No, better. Shaka, are you an LL Cool J fan?
Yeah, of course, bro. LL Cool J. I'm Jamaican, we got all that music growing up. So
what song do you think I was making out with as a 16-year-old in the Dairy Queen parking lot? It was an LL Cool J song.
No idea,
Is this really that hard? There's one LL Cool J song I think of when I think of makeout songs. I have one LL Cool J song on my Spotify and chill playlist.
I Need Love.
No. I mean, he's probably got a lot of freaky lyrics, but there was one in particular that I think it stands out. It's actually it holds up through the years.
Doing It.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm. Yes, Doing It. Like you may like some of you youngsters, some of you Zoomers might actually learn something about that sort of interaction with the opposite sex if you go listen to Doing It today. So your homework is boys. This is like if Steve had actually left us, this was like he'd be turning over in his grave right now if I were closing a show with me bull posting Boys to Men and Doing It by LL Cool J. But I'm not kidding. If you've never listened to Doing It by LL Cool J, you need to listen to that today. You need to listen to probably the full Boys to Men album. Their what was their album? I'm going to stop sharing so I don't show something I don't want to show. Boys to Men can't remember like the main album I'm thinking of. So I want to give you actionable advice here. LL Cool J is just doing it. Whatever song doing it is, I think it was self-titled Boyz II Men. 2 maybe. Yeah, maybe it was 2. 1994 album 2. It was either that or Cool High Harmony in 91. I think that one of those two were the goats. I'm not that I'm familiar with Boyz II Men songs, just not familiar with their discography.
I think it was the numeral 2.
I think
album.
that is it as well. I'll do my research. I'll go listen to Boyz II Men today after I get off the show, and I will follow up tomorrow with an actual actionable album you should listen to. Doing it, yeah. Pinstripe Gator, you got it. Doing it and doing it well. What happened to hip hop? Do we blame R. Kelly? Is that what happened to hip hop?
No, don't cap. Just don't even say anything else like that. We're done. Like, let's ask Shaka what he thinks about the show.
Yeah, get us in here and help save me, Shaka.
Well, what I was gonna say is one of the things I like the most about your show is when you interviewed founders, and I think markets are down. There's a lot of FOMO and fear, and it would be great for you to use your pull to get some of the founders to come and talk about the projects and the future of the projects, because I mean you can pull big founders in, and I think it would be great for the entire NFT community to get those guys to like come out and just really start sharing what's going on, and everybody's building, right? I mean, Azuki's building, Apes are all the big projects are building, but a lot of them like build quietly, and I think it would be amazing for the market. And it was one of the things I like the most about your shows is when you got these guys on board, and it it really gave me strength to do what I did. I mean, I launched in the height of the bear at the lowest price of the Bitcoin, my collection. But we're still moving ahead, and being able to hear these guys and the problems they had and how they're addressing things, I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, great. Appreciate the feedback. Congrats on the new PFP, by the way. It looks great on you, and respect the grind and the hustle and shipping regardless of market conditions. Yes, I will take you up on that. If anyone has any founders you'd like to hear from, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in a DM. If it's not someone connected to, the intro would be appreciated. I will say this: I am soliciting Mega ETH founders. I'm very bullish, and I know it's Frontier around the corner. I know it's still alpha, beta, not full launch yet, but I'm genuinely excited about some of the new dApps that are being built on Mega ETH, and I want to do some deeper dives with all of them. Rocket is one of the most recent ones. I didn't even get to this today. We'll maybe talk about it a little bit tomorrow, or maybe we'll wait until we have the team on. But I still believe that the prediction market space there's room for more than the big two. It's very clearly Polymarket and Kalshi's world right now, and everyone else is playing it, including Myriad, who just announced they're live in Trust Wallet, the first prediction market. They front ran the big boys. Kalshi goes to Solana, but Myriad launches in Trust Wallet, so you can do Myriad markets inside of the wallet. Rocket, in this manifesto, I'll pin up top here in a second. Man, it never fails to. I thought I'd get you guys out of here a few minutes early, and the conversation took us another direction. So I appreciate. Shout out to all of you hanging with us a little bit longer this morning. Appreciate y'all being here. This is rooted in Mega ETH culture, where they built one of the strongest mind shares. The founder is Nix. It's Nix_off. I'm not sorry, not the founder. Joined the Rocket team to help tell the story and get the world outside what's ready next. Redistribution markets, they're calling it. But this is pinned up top and worthy of taking a read, because if Mega ETH has the success, I think so, it just makes sense that a prediction market would also have some success on there. And they're doing some things differently. I'm not going to read, just due to the sake of time, I'm not going to go into great detail right now, but this will be one we're definitely going to talk about more in the future. And if anyone knows anyone at the team at Rocket, let me know. I'm going to shoot him a DM now and see if we get him on the show, and we'll do a deeper dive here in the near future. Before I go back to Machiavelli, though, Proof of Alpha DGen, welcome back. We lost you earlier. Feel free to take it wherever you'd like. Could be market, could be the liquidity injection with the overnight stuff, could be the 10-year yen carry trade, or we can talk more LL Cool J lyrics. Your call, sir.
Man, I am definitely honored to be here on a subject of LL Cool J lyrics. You know, I heard Machiavelli say something about "I need love." I was like, "Oh my God, where is this going?" But no, just kidding, man. But yeah, no, this is it's a great subject. I think for my age group, you know, that's us. You know, you guys are young whippersnappers compared to us. So for my age group, when you started talking that, you was tugging on my heartstrings. So I had to come up here and just say, yeah, LL Cool J. And you know, if you need some examples thereof, then we can get some examples thereof. Just kidding. But yeah, man, LL Cool J. I saw Loki come up a minute ago, and right before I was rugging out, I didn't know if he jumped up and did his spiel or not. But
No.
you know, that's
Go ahead, do it for him. Do you mind? And
yeah,
in all
no,
seriousness,
I don't know
Loki,
his field per se, and I know he'll probably kick me in the cojones. But definitely, man, that Sunday NFT show this is something that we talk about, that everything that happens during the week, like what we got going on right now, how you bring those the current events and what have you. We kind of catch the weekend version of that and just put it out and just air everything out. We get all kind of founders and everybody to come up. So sorry about the shameless shield, but
appreciate the show. Best show on Sundays, and I don't think it's particularly close. And yeah, Loki, hit me up whenever good for you. I'd love to have you like talking about, you know, that concept to just explore there, having a guest co-host talk for the first hour on, you know, news of the day, trending topics, and then dive into whatever they're the subject matter expert on over the second hour. Would love to talk deeper about all that you're not just the content, but everything you're doing. Your hands in on the NFT side. So let me know whenever a good day. Would love to have you. No obligations, just open invite. Always a pleasure. Always enjoy the show, and yeah, appreciate you sharing Alpha DGen. Machiavelli, take us home. Final closing.
Yeah, man. No, I actually love the NFT show on Sunday that I get to do with Loki and Proof. It's an amazing experience, and the NFT community really shows out for it. But I wanted to say, like, for moving forward on Coffee with Captain with the Mega E stuff, I would like to do some type of challenge or something, like where we whoever wants to participate takes a couple of $1,000 or something, and we kind of go on the Mega E journey and see what we can do. You know what I mean? Like see how the ecosystem works out. Maybe try the different dApps and stuff like that. I think that would be a fun little challenge for those who want to participate. And you know, as we bring up the founders, as we see the different protocols and stuff like that on the chain, you know, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I love it. Appreciate all the ideas, all the thoughts. Again, I see Flo out there. Flo, longtime listener, big fan of the team over there. Same thing. If there's anyone in your ecosystem you'd like us to feature, I'm going to be soliciting. Like I think this is like the summary of the high level overview of the move forward plan is more guests speakers, not relying on just myself and a co-host to carry the show and talk about whatever's on our mind. We're not getting away. We'll still have our cold open. For all those that hate sports and Latinas and Venezuelan food, you're just gonna have to deal with it. That's me, and you take it or leave it. If you don't like it, tune in at 8:15. And maybe only get 4 or 5 minutes of cold open. But we'll do cold open. We'll do market updates. We'll do news of the day, trending topics. And then, but just with that, expect, in the past, it's been maybe 1 or 2 a week. I would love, like my ideal scenario in 2025 is we have a subject matter expert, 4 or 5 days a week for that 9 o'clock hour. And as often as those individuals can join us for the first hour and talk through, other things beyond just whatever they are the subject matter on. I'm kind of, and hey, maybe we do that for a while and it doesn't work. We'll pivot again, but that's where I'm leaning out. Open ideas. I'm not claiming to have all the answers. I certainly don't, but I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you helping ideate and talk through this with us. And as always, it is a community show. We wouldn't be where we are today without all of you. And appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate, the 100 of you plus still listening in or watching the streams. RDL speaking of watching the streams, RDL over on YouTube says, got an idea, do 1 show a week from Otherside, business as usual, except park that beauty of a spacesuit ape somewhere cool and stream. Could make it the same spot or pick a new location each time. I love the idea. I need to figure out how I can execute it, how I can execute the multi-stream. The simulcasting is part of the format today. got some flexibility right now. Maybe we'll do a test run next week because I'm not obligated to stream per se on YouTube or Abstract. Not that I'm obligated to stream, but some of our deals have video intros and screen shares and stuff that just we're not quite there yet in Otherside. But I love the idea, and yeah, let me think on that. And if not soon, once those technical dots connect, I'm totally in. I mean, best case scenario, I'd love to add it as a streaming option, do some stream keys, and could go live there every day. But for now, need to think through the technical challenges or limitations from simulcasting. All that being said, thanks again for being here today, everyone. Ran a little bit long, but we'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. The carousel, as we said, is broken, courtesy of Twitter. Hip hop died with Y2K. I'm curious why you think that, Pinstripe Gator. What did Y2K? Y2K? Why did that kill hip hop? We'll save that for maybe tomorrow. There'll be good code up material after y'all go listen to some Boys to Men today. That said, thanks again for being here, everyone. I'm also curious. I saw Mike actually was in a movie with LL Cool J. Curious which one. Would love to hear more about that. Big LL Cool J fan, at least core memories are a fan. It was good. It was good. It was memorable. I'll just say that it was memorable. Memorable time in the Dairy Queen parking lot. And with that, thanks so much. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 a.m. Eastern time. As my buddy Steve would say, I was raised out in Korea. This is bad. Raised out, born in Brooklyn, raised out in Queens. Is that how it ends?
I believe so.
It's awful, but I don't know the exact lyrics. I had it on the tip of my tongue, and
I was born out in Brooklyn and raised up in Queens.
I represent Queens.
Oh, there we go. I was wrong too.
I represent Queens. She was raised out in Brooklyn. That's exactly what Steve would say to end the show today. If you don't believe me, you're going to have to back and listen to, I don't know, about 1,000 episodes before to confirm it. But yeah, his sign off was, I represent Queens. She was raised out in Brooklyn. Thanks all. Have a great day. We'll talk to you all tomorrow morning.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.